Hey everybody, welcome to SETTA'S tutorial on how to make this top. Top slash beach cover up. All right, first we're going to start with a chain. That's the length all the way around you from under your around your chest. And if you're using a carrying cotton cake, which is what I'm using, I'm going to be using this one for the sample, which is, let's see, hydrangea. I can't say it right, but that flower name. This color is a combination of several different cotton cakes. But so you're going to start with the chain, and this stretches after you make it. It will stretch and stretch and stretch. So the chain that you make, just be aware that it's going to loosen up, and you can always tighten it up afterward, and do some decreases, under the arm. But anyway, you wrap your measuring tape around your chest loosely, and that is the amount of chains that I would start with. Now I'm going to be making a smaller version because I already have this one, so mine's going to be really small, but I'm going to show you how to construct this one. So let's start with our chain. I'm going to be using a 5mm hook, which is an H. All right, so I'm going to make a chain. Like I said, it's going to be a very small version just to show you how I made it. So I'm just going to make some chains and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my chain. So now I want to work a single crochet back across the chain. So I'm going to skip the first one and do a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. I like going to the back loop, but you don't have to. You can just do it, like regular. And I just do a single crochet all the way across. And then we will attach it to make it a circle. Okay, I made it all the way across. So now I want to make it into a circle by connecting the end to where we left off and by slip stitching to the first stitch. And then you can connect the bottom part later. And now we're going to be working in the round. Okay, so we're going to do chain 1 and do a double crochet back into the same stitch. Chain 1, and then you skip 1 and then a double crochet in the next stitch. So you're going to be making these mesh holes. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. You're going to do that all the way around. All right, I'm almost to the end, and I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip 1, double crochet in the last one, chain 1, then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this first double crochet. Now if you get to the end and you have an extra like 2 stitches left, you can just have 2 stitches in the middle. It's not going to make that much difference. You're not going to be able to tell. All right, for the next round, we're just going to repeat what we just did. So I'm going to chain 1, go back in the same stitch and make a double crochet. Chain 1. On top of this double crochet from the previous round, put a double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet on top of the double crochet. Chain 1. And you're just going to do that all the way around until you get back over here. When you get over here, you're going to slip stitch to the first double crochet with the chain 1 in the middle. And you're going to repeat this round. For the original top, I did 15 rounds of these mesh stitches. You can adjust this amount of mesh stitches depending on where you want it to hit you from the design that I have, because I want to put a row of double crochet solid. Then I'm gonna go back to the mesh. So wherever you want that to hit you, like if you want it higher or lower, you have to kind of gauge it for your, on your body. But if you want it exactly like mine, I did 15 rows of the mesh stitch. But of course, for this small one, I'm just going to do a few rows, and then I'm going to come back and show you how I did the double crochet row. All right, I'll be right back when I get finished with the mesh section. Okay, I finished the amount of mesh rows that I want. You should have, if you're following mine, 15 or whatever amount that you want. So I'm going to chain 1, double crochet back into the same spot. Now we're just going to do a row of double crochets. So you put a double crochet into the space and then one on top of the previous double crochet. One in the space, one on top of the previous double crochet. And that's all you're going to do all the way around till you get back over here, slip stitch to your first double crochet. I'll see you when you get there. Okay, made it back around, slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. So the next round is back to the mesh row. Chain 1, go back into the same stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet. Now I did 2 rows of the mesh on the original top. I'm only going to do 1 for this small version. So I'll see you when you have your 2 rows of the mesh stitch. Okay, I made it around. So our next round will be a V-stitch. So I'll chain 1, go back into the same stitch, make a double crochet, chain 1, and go back in the same stitch with another double crochet, and that gives you a V. So now we're going to do a V-stitch on top of every double crochet. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet back in the same stitch, V-stitch in the next stitch, like that. It's kind of like you're increasing without actually making an increase, because this is going to give you more room. So let's go around. So keep making your V-stitch all the way around until you get back to over here, and I'll catch up with you then. All right, I made it to the end. Now I'm gonna slip stitch to the first stitch here, like that. Now you need to do the V-stitch row. I did 1, 2, 3. I did 4 rounds total of the V-stitch. This right here is also, again, where you can adjust how many you want. You can put more or less. And if you're making the top, I stopped after the 4 V-stitches and did a single crochet row if you're going to stop at making the top. But so it needs to be the length that you want it to be after your last row of V-stitches. Just know that is where the end, where you want your top to end. If you're going to stop at the top, if you're going to make the beach cover up, we will be doing some more something else. So if you want to do the beach cover up, I want you to stop after you get your V-stitches. So then we're going to do the straps, and then we'll continue on with the beach cover up after we get the top complete. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, I have 1 row of V-stitches. For my little sample, I'm going to do another row of V-stitches. So you continue on, do as many as you need. And like I said, I did 4 for the original top. All right, I'll see you in just a sec. To start the second round of the V-stitches, I slip stitch till I get to the middle of the V-stitch. Then that's where I start the next round. So you can chain 4, Then go back in the same space with a double crochet. And there's your V-stitch. And then move on to the next V-stitch. And continue all the way around. All right, I'll see you when you get that done. Okay, I'm at the end. I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. So now we're going to make a single crochet row all the way around the bottom, whether you're making the top or the beach cover up. Now I want to change color because I like having the different, in the original top, the single crochet is, you can see it because it's a different color. So I want to do that for this also. So I'm going to change color. Okay, chain 1 and go single crochet in every stitch around. Now do your single crochet loosely, unless you want it to pull in, because whenever you do a single crochet, it kind of pulls your work in. But for me, I don't want it to be pulled in. And then you work your single crochet into the space, and on top of the double crochet, into the space, on top of the double crochet. This is going to make your, make it nice and loose. On top of every stitch and in the space. Okay, I'll catch up with you when you get back to the beginning. Okay, I finished that row of single crochets. So let's cut your yarn. Okay. Now we're going to turn it upside down and work on the top where the straps go. Now the back, for me, is going to be where we made all the connections. That's going to be the back, so I'm folding it just to make it even. You can count your stitches if you want to make it exactly even on both sides, but I'm just winging it. Kind of just folding it in half like that. Okay, so now we're going to take our stitch markers and we're going to mark where you want your straps to go. For the sample, I'm just kind of, if I split it down the middle and then split that down the middle and let it be the center of each strap. But like I say, I am just eyeballing it. So if I put, fold it in half, and this is the middle right here. That's the whole middle. Then if I take that and go like this, where it meets right there, that's the middle. So if I want my strap, the middle of the strap to be where this stitch marker is, let me do the other side. But you can adjust your straps however you want, where you want them to be placed. So that's this, like that. So on this one, I'm working over like 7 stitches. I have a single, then I skip one, then a single crochet. I chain in between over these 7 stitches. So but you can make this as wide as you want, or if you want it even more narrow, you can do that. But let me show you how I did it just using these 3 stitches. Okay, so I'm using the stitch marker as my center stitch, so the one right beside it. I'm gonna attach my yarn. attaching my yarn here. And then I'm going to put a single crochet back into the same space. Chain 1. Then I'm going to skip a stitch and a single crochet in the next. Take this stitch marker out. And just because of the size of this, that's all I'm going to do. But for you, you would chain 1, skip 1, go on to the next. For however wide you want your strap. I might go ahead and do like this. Okay, so chain 1 and turn. Now on this row, you're going to go back into that same single crochet and make a single crochet. Single crochet into the space, chain 1, skip this one, go into the space, make a single crochet, and then single crochet on the end. Chain 1, turn, single crochet in the first stitch, and there's a single crochet here, so we're going to chain 1 and skip, go into the space, single crochet, chain 1, skip this one, and single crochet into the last stitch. Did I chain? Yes. Okay. And you're going to keep doing that until you get it the length that you want your strap to be. I'll measure mine and let you know on the original how long mine were. Chain 1 and turn, single crochet in the first stitch. So there's a space there, so go into the space, chain 1, skip this single, go into the space, chain, no chain, go into this very last stitch with a single. Chain 1 and turn. And you just continue doing that until you reach the length that you want. So let me show you on this one. If you're, like I said before, if you're using the Karen cotton cake, these will stretch a lot. So I would not make them as long. I make them a little bit shorter than you really want because they will stretch. And after being stretched, mine are, let's see, 14 inches, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would not recommend that you make it that long because, yeah, it's going to come at, because I did not make them this long originally. So you continue doing that, the stitch that we already did for the length of this right here. Do not attach it. Just put a stitch marker and hold it so it won't fall apart. Then you go on the other side and do the same thing. And then you put it on using stitch markers to reach the back and see if it's what you want it to be on you. And if it's where you want it to be, then you attach it to the back. However you want, you can crochet it on, you can use a sew with a needle, just attach it to the back of the garment. All right, I'm going to finish up my little straps on here, and then I will come back and I will show you how to continue. All right, I got my these on. Now mine are a little shorter just because of the size, and it changed color in the midway, but I just left it. Okay, so if you are just going to make the top, you are finished. So in your ends, now you can go around the armhole and under the underarm with a single crochet, even in between here if you like. I did not. I like the way it looks like this, but if you wanted to put a single crochet all the way around, and if you have if it's really loose for you here, you could do some single crochet decreases to tighten that up a little bit. But that is the top. So now if you want to continue on to make the beach cover up, let me Okay, on this one, this blue line is the single crochet row that stops on the shirt. And I liked having that as different color because it really brought out different aspects of the top. You could even make this double crochet row a different color, or if you're using a variegated one like this where it just turned color on its own on some of the parts, that'll work too. But anyway, so now we're going to do this. I made it all purple because I added it later, and I used a different yarn. So I'm going to show you what yarn I used. I used this one. Here's the label. It's Made with Love, the cottony one. And it is the color violet, or just purple. I believe here, 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. From Lion brand. All right, so I'm going to add this to the bottom. So basically what we're going to be doing, because we want the bottom part to be more flowy, we're going to be doing the V-stitch, but we're going to make it just slightly different than the other V-stitch that we did. All right, so turn it upside down to where you're on the bottom edge. And we're going to attach our yarn to the bottom. Anywhere. I like to start right in the middle where my back seam is. I go into the single crochet, attach my yarn. So now we're going to do a V-stitch, but we're going to do, now I like doing mine like this. I do a single crochet, chain one, then I go back into the same stitch with a double crochet. Then I want you to chain two instead of chaining one, and then go back into it and make another double crochet. But this just makes our V-stitch even more open, because it's another way to do another increase without actually increasing. It just makes it a gradual flare. So we're going to do the same thing, and then we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one. We're going to do that again, double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet back into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, into the fourth stitch, make another 2 chained V-stitch, and you go all the way around doing that. That gives you a wider stitch, and so it looks different than the one up here. Well, then it looks different than this one. So it gives a little variety of stitches on your project. Okay, go all the way around until we get back to the beginning. And do this very loosely, because we want it to really be flowy. And if you, like I said, if you're using this Karen cotton cake, it's going to stretch also. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm almost back to the beginning. A slip stitch to the first stitch, and then slip stitch over to the center of this V-stitch. Now we're going to do the same thing. You're going to work into the V-stitches, doing the same thing. But this time we're just going to go 1, 2, 3. That's your double crochet, chain 2, and then go back in. And that starts off your V-stitch. Then go into this one and do the same thing over again, and do 2 chains in between the double crochets, and you do that all the way around. And this is where you need to do it to the length that you want yours to be. Let's see, I'll tell you what how many rows I did on mine. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I did 16 rounds. But before you, but for me, because I have more hip, I did a few increases, actual increases, to make it flare out even more, because I didn't want it to be right up against me, even though I knew it was going to stretch out some, but I wanted it to just be a little bit more loose. So I'm going to show you how I did an increase with the V-stitches. Let's say I want to increase right here. I go into this stitch like normal, and I chain 2, go back into the space just like you normally would. Then I chain 2, then go back into the space again. And you got 2 of them in the same spot. So when you come back on the next round, you are going to work into both of these separately. And that gives you another extra stitch. So that's how you do your increases if you need it, or if you want it more flare. Now I suggest if you do that, I'd put your increases on the same, on both sides, so because when you wear it, you'll be able to see it open like this, and it'll be kind of like a design, because you'll be able to see that there's an increase there because of the nature of the stitches, and it'll look like you placed it there on purpose. So you don't want it just anywhere. Just put it where you can see like you did it on purpose, one here, or if you want it just in the middle, which I probably wouldn't do that, but one on each side, or if you want the back, you do one on each side, so it's the same, like a design down the back. But you continue doing that until you have it the length that you want it. But I'm not going to put any increases on this since it's just a sample. I'm going to do a few more rounds of this, then I'm going to come back and show you how I did the very ending row. Okay, I made it around. I just did 3 rounds for this one. Now we're just going to do the finishing. Now we're just going to finish it up by doing a half double crochet row on the bottom loosely. So I chain 1, I go back into the same space and do a half double crochet, and then I do 2 half double crochets into the space, then a half double crochet on top of the double crochets. And you just do that all the way around. 2 half doubles into the space, 1 on top of the double crochets. And that gives it kind of some weight at the bottom, and then I think it makes it drape nicely by having that little bit of weight at the bottom. All right, you go all the way around, and I'll see you when we get to the other side. Okay, I'm at the end. I'm going to slip stitch to the first stitch, and then cut it, and then you sew in all your ends. All right, so that is a very miniature version of the beach cover-up. So here is how it looks in the bigger piece. And I love how this yarn, it just really, I really liked how this worked up. And but anyway, all right, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Hope you enjoy wearing your beach cover-up or your top. And but yeah. All right, I have other tutorials, I have the patterns if you want to check those out. There'll be a link in the description box. And but yeah, all right, I'll talk to you later, and have a blessed day.